We're about to start Hasbar 4:7. We're learning Masechet Kiddushin. We're in Perek Sheni, second Perek, called Ha'ish Mekadesh, and we're in Daf Mem Tet, that's 49, Amud Aleph. And the topic of this piece of Gemara is that we learned about when there is a mistake, and it seems that it's going to be to the woman's advantage when it comes to money matters. B'shevach mamon, we said there's a machloket in our Mishnah that we learned between the Tanna Kamma and Rabbi Shimon. The Tanna Kamma said it's not a good kedushin, and Rabbi Shimon said if it's into her benefit, meaning the person offered her silver and it turned out to be gold, the kedushin would be good. Now there's a different type of misleading kedushin, and that is if a person says, I'm going to give you money to marry me, mikudeshetli, almanat, on the condition that of my social status, and there's a mistake in the social status. That means I said I'm a Kohen, you find that I'm a Levi. You find out that I'm a Nitan, I'll explain what that is in a minute, and you find out that I'm really a Mamzer. Again, I'll have to explain those terms in a few minutes. But basically, the Gemara is going to say that when there's a mistake with social status, again, the man is giving the woman some money, but he says, in addition, marry me not just with the money, but almanas, on the condition that I am so-and-so, and we find out the person is not that way. Even Rabbi Shimon, even if it's to her benefit, even if like he says, I'm a Levi, and he turns out to be a Kohen, and you think that's even a better thing, right? He says, in that instance, even though it might be to her benefit, everybody agrees the kedushin is not valid. Now we'll talk more about that. Let's do the Gemara inside. Omar Ula. Ula says, Machloket b'shevach mamon. We know that we have in our Mishnah earlier a dispute if kedushin is chal, if kedushin is valid when there's a mistake of money, even if it's to her benefit. Aval b'shevach yuchsin, but when it comes to one's personal lineage, their social status, and it's again going to be to her benefit. The guy says, I'm a low this, and he turns out to be a high this, whatever those low and high things are. But his social standing, he presents himself as a low social standing, and only later finds out that it's a high social standing. Divrei hakol, everybody agrees, eni mukudeshet, the kedushin is not chal. Now, what's the interesting reason behind it? Because you might think, and I might think, that, if a woman is going to marry someone and they only find out that the person originally present themselves as a low status and find out they're a higher status, you would think so. Who wouldn't want to say, okay, it's a pleasant surprise? But the Gemara says, no, that's not a good assumption. So my taima, what is the reason that if a woman is misled about a person's social status, their shevach yuchasin, right, his yichus, that even if it's to her benefit, the kedusha is not good, because mis'ana derav mikari lo bi'ina. The shoe is going to be too big, and I don't want a shoe that's too big. Points out that mis'ana derav mikari, that the shoe is too big, minal gadol memidas ragli. The shoe is bigger than my foot. Ene chefza bo. And I don't desire that. I don't want that higher social status. Sha'ani yochla laholech bo. I don't want to go with that way. Umashalhu. Now again, the shoe is a metaphor, right? I mean, you ever try to walk in shoes that are too big for you? It's clumsy, right? They might not be comfortable in a higher status. Right? We're also possibly afraid, we're going to learn later, that she's afraid that the husband's going to look down on her. Because if he's in a higher social status, maybe later on, he's not going to treat her with the respect that she deserves. And she doesn't want that either. Gemara continues, Tanya, in this brisa, Nami Hache, we also find Moda Rabbi Shimon. That Rabbi Shimon in this Breita which we just quoted, that a woman has a shevach yichsin, right? That there's a misleading social status. Im hita l'shevach yichsim, if the kedushin was a mistake, meaning she was misled on the social status, even again l'shevach, something better. Any mukudeshes. Rabbi Shimon is quoted as saying the kedushin is not valid. Amar Rav Ashi, and Rav Ashi adds and says to this, Masnisen nami deka. The words of the Mishnah, and there's a Mishnah further on that we'll learn later on, that the words in the Mishnah are very specific and actually back up this idea that when there's a ta'ut, when there's a mistake with social status, that the woman was presented, right, and misled falsely, right, that the social status of the person was such and such and it turned out to be different, that the Mishnah later on is also going to prove that everybody agrees the Kedushin is not good. Diktani, as we learned, Almanat, a person says, I want you to marry me on condition. Almanat, Shani Kohen v'nimtza Levi, I'm a Kohen, and they find out he's a Levi, Ulevi v'nimtza Kohen. Or he finds out, he says, I'm a Levi, and he turns out to be a Kohen. Or he says, Nasin v'nimtza Mamzer, he says, I'm in Nasin, and they find out he's a Mamzer, and I'll explain what that is in a minute. Umamza v'nimtza Nosein, or he says, I want you to marry me, Almanas, again, on the condition that you understand that I'm a Mamzer. And it turns out he was discovered to be a Nosein. Lo polig, there's no disagreement. Lo polig Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Shimon doesn't disagree, and he says that Kedushin is not chal. So a niton is someone who was from Givon. They were people who misled Yehoshua when he was conquering Eretz Yisrael, and he made a rabbinic decree by rabbinic law that they're not allowed to marry Jews. What's a mamzer? A mamzer who is someone, a product of, were two married people who were married to others or through an incestual situation, and that person is a product of that relationship, and that is prohibited by Torah law from marrying anybody else but another mamzer. So a Givonite, right, or a Natin, as he's called, he's only forbidden by rabbinic law to marry a Jewish person. But a mamzer, by Torah law. So a mamzer is on a lower level. So if a person comes out and he says, oh, I'm a mamzer, and then they find out he's really a noten, you think, okay, it won't be so bad. The end of the day is you can't misrepresent your lineage, and that's the most important point that I want you to take away from this video.